Good morning and welcome to the Glow Up, fabulous conversations with innovative minds. Today, I'm talking with Alan Smithson of MetaVRse and Unlimited Awesome. Alan, thank you so much for being here today. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for having me, Nathan. I really appreciate the opportunity to share. I've been in entrepreneurship for a long, long time. I've developed many different companies. My wife Julie and I have been working together for 23 years, and Julie is our chief operating officer. So I come up with the crazy ideas and sell it, and then Julie builds them. And so we've been working together for a long, long time. We invented touchscreen technology for the music industry back in 20 before the iPad, and then we went and parlayed that into working in virtual augmented mixed reality. And now our vision and mission is to build a new education system for the future of humanity. And one of the things that we're really keen on is leveraging the different technologies such as AI, XR, and blockchain, as well as video and audio and podcasts and all these things to create personalized learning for people, to not teach them about science and math and the things that school systems already do a great job on, but really focus on success principles, things like mindfulness and gratitude and financial planning and investing. So that's our long-term vision. And we've been working towards that for many years now, and we're super excited about it. As I describe myself to the world, I'm a father, a founder, and a futurist,
In that order?
in that order.
Love it.
I do a daily tech news show every day, and I use a bunch of different AI tools for that. It's called Daily Tech News with Alan Smithson, and I've been doing it since March 1st, every single weekday. And that has been an enormous educational thing for me because, as much as it's great to learn about things, it's great to be able to learn and then teach people. And I think that was the key with this, is that being able to teach people really is the key for me. So I've done, if you could look back here, I've done all these different episodes, everything from AI generated tools to that one. There's like talking about AI being used in the Olympics. I talk about everything from space travel to AI to molecular genetics to robots. It doesn't matter. Everything, every day there's something new, and there's usually between 5 and 10 different things every single day. So you can jump on my YouTube channel and subscribe to that too.
Those are amazing. I jump in when I have a free moment, and it's always a very quick learn. So
I
you
tried to keep them to 10 minutes, and then they got a little crazy, and then they were like 20 minutes. I was like, okay. So now it's going to be 10 minutes every day. I'm chiming myself. So
Ellen, you mentioned being an entrepreneur for quite a while, and at the Glow Up, we're both in big ideas as well as that journey of what it takes to really bring an idea that's ahead of its time to a market, and to stay on the field long enough to see that moment come for this technology. When you're thinking about this small problem of transforming the education system, can you tell me a little bit about that core problem that inspired this big vision? And yeah, and maybe a little bit about that journey to where you are today.
sure. I mean, Julie and I have started, I think we're at like 12 companies over the last 20 years. Some were successful, some exited, with great success. Some we had to close down. So you kind of have this bumpy road along the way. It's never just, that the VC graph, the nice, graph that goes up like a, hockey stick. It's never like that. It's usually a series of ups and downs and bumps along the way. But years and years ago, I was given some advice by a sage business person. I actually don't remember who said it to me, but the advice was very simple. The only rule in business is never give up. And that has stuck with me forever. So even though, I've lost companies, I've been fired as CEO of my own companies twice. I don't recommend that, but it has been a thing. And so never give up, keep going. And, when we decided to build a new education system, it wasn't that we wanted to, ruin our lives by building something so hard that was impossible. It was that our daughters were going through the current education system, and we were going through things like the Ryerson Digital Media Zone. So we had gone through an accelerator. Our companies have gone through 5 different accelerators. I've been a mentor at Techstars. We've been a mentor at TKS, the Knowledge Society. We've been judges for the South by Southwest Pitch Awards. When I say we, my wife and I. And so
Mhm.
what we've done is we've been able to see what the most cutting edge stuff learning is for entrepreneurship, and then compare that to what our kids are learning in school. And we saw this massive disconnect between these new tools like AI coming online and XR and blockchain and all this, and absolutely zero being taught about those in school. And the reason why we set a massive goal of building a new education system is because we tried to fix the current systems. We went at the school level, we went at the board level, and we went at the provincial level. And we realized that one, every province, state around the world has its own education system, and they're not connected. They don't listen to each other. And they're almost impossible to change. And this was a problem. So we decided to start from scratch and build a whole new education system from scratch, and we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. I think one of the things that people underestimate is the power of having a lifelong purpose or mission. Our purpose, Julie and I, is to inspire and educate future leaders to think and act in a socially, economically, and environmentally responsible way. And that mantra has been our guiding path for the last decade. And so when you're on a lifelong mission to do something, the bumps in the road don't matter. Yeah, they suck. Having being fired from your own company sucks. Being, losing a big client sucks. These things are terrible, and at the time they seem almost overwhelming. But if in the back of your mind you're part of a bigger mission that's bigger than yourself, and you're really pushing towards that, it really doesn't matter. They're just bumps in the road. Your life does this, but your mentality just stays like this, nice and smooth. And so you can't get too excited with the wins, and you can't get too depressed with the losses. And I think that's key.
I'm feeling that as a marketer who always professes you have to put your customers first, you really have to, stay focused on the number of things that you try to do at one time. This idea that starting from your mission gives you the focus and the long-term path, even if it's not clear. I'm feeling quite a lot.
So 8 years ago, Julie and I stood on stage on my birthday, July 4th, 8 years ago, and we said, we're going to create a new education system. We didn't know how, we didn't know anything about it. We didn't have any research. We had no connections. We came from the DJ space. We invented touchscreen technology for the music industry. And in doing that, we had lots of connections in the music industry, in the DJ world, but we had none in virtual reality. I tried VR for the first time. I tried the predecessor to this. This is the Quest Pro, but I tried the DK1 back in 2014. So I had a chance to try the DK1. It blew my mind, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the future of how we train people and teach. And so we set out with the goal of building a new education system, but we knew that in order to do that, we also needed the technology stack to do that because it didn't exist. So we ended up building MetaVRse, which is a 3D creation platform akin to like a game engine, but on the web, on the browser. And the whole idea was, how do we allow everybody the opportunity to create and be part of this new, found medium known as XR? And so the only way to do that, everybody talks about, oh, what's the stumbling block of VR? When's VR going to take off? When it's easy to make content, and it is not easy to make content yet. So our MetaVRse engine, we started with drag and drop low code, and the next phase of it will be introducing AI tools. So instead of having to create a 3D object, you just conjure it. I need a 3D object of this, boom. I need an environment of this, boom. And AI does the work. And so we're kind of leapfrogging this whole creation idea of having to create every asset by hand, which is time consuming, expensive, and it should be as easy
Mhm.
as Canva to create 3D experiences and deliver them to all devices around the world. So our MetaVRse engine, when you hit publish, it goes out to smartphones, tablets, VR, all from one click publish. You don't have to build an
Mhm.
iOS version, an Android version, a Mac OS version, a Windows version, a VR version, a Quest version, an HTC version, a Pico version. You build one and deploy to all over the browser. And that has been our ethos. And in doing that, we've been building projects for some of the largest companies in the world. In the last 8 years, since we decided to get into virtual reality, we've built over 200 projects for some of the world's largest companies. One that we're especially proud of last year, we won Best Advance in Education delivered through technology for the work we do with Siemens Healthineers. So we have a long-term contract with Siemens Healthineers where we take their products and we turn them into experiences for training. And that has been an amazing eye opener for us on how enterprise level education and training works. And we built to that level of specificity. And the reason why we built at enterprise level is because if it's good enough for enterprise, it will work for everybody. So enterprise security, privacy, all of these things, we adhere to all of those. And that has allowed us to kind of now have a platform that is ready for distribution to creators of all shapes and sizes around the world. But if you started at the bottom and when it worked your way up, you wouldn't have those protocols and procedures in there. So starting at the top allowed
Oh,
us to know what corporations want. And at the same time, we were winning Best Advance in Education. We also won last year Best Digital Marketing with the work we did for Mars Wrigley in the Juicyverse, which was a virtual world we built. It was like a virtual world gamified thing where you run around, and it was the word. It was actually three world firsts in one. It was the first IRL to URL, meaning you could scan a QR code in Walmart, go into the virtual world. We would give you an NFT once you completed all the tasks. You get an NFT put into your Apple Google Wallet, and then you could take that into the store and scan it for a discount. So all of these things that we've been doing over the years have just been, mind blowing for us.
you mentioned this idea of it's a long journey. There's ups and downs. You shouldn't take any one award or any one loss too seriously in that long-term journey. How do you measure the impact of the journey when you know it's a bumpy ride? And how do you stay connected to that long-term vision while going through these very human ups and downs that can feel very big?
I think one thing that is, it sounds so analog and easy, but we took our mission of inspire and educate, future leaders. We wrote that and we printed it and we put it in our bathroom. So every morning you wake up, you're brushing your teeth and you see it. It's there, and it sounds analog and really easy, but it's one of those things. If you really, really are passionate about something, write it down, put it on your mirror or beside beside where you brush your teeth every morning, and repeat it. And repeated
Hmm.
mantras over time become just ingrained in who you are. We are big proponents of practicing gratitude, and we practice gratitude. That's actually the first lesson that we're teaching as part of the Unlimited Awesome program. We're building what we're calling the six castles. I was going to show you an image, but I think I'll save it for later. But we're
Yeah.
building the six castles of success, and the six castles are perseverance. So under perseverance is gratitude, mindfulness,
Hmm.
deep breathing, yoga, and that type of thing. Then you have creative problem solving, right? So you go in and learn about creative problem solving, even coming up with great ideas, seeing what problems around the world, that sort of thing. Then you have teamwork and
Hmm.
mentorship. And teamwork and mentorship comes down to surrounding yourself with great people, how to identify those people, how to connect with those people, how to communicate. Then you have, economic responsibility, financial planning, being able to read a financial model. All you need to know is an asset, a liability, your income, your expenses, and your net worth. And most people don't look at a net worth statement on a regular basis, and that's part of our
Hmm.
education platform as well. The next one is social responsibility. How do we do things with ethics? How do we make sure that we're not harming the earth or harming other people? How do we live our lives with the best social impact we can do? And then the last one is
Hmm.
environmental sustainability. And that obviously, it goes without saying that we need to protect this earth. We are one race on this planet, the human race, and we're on a spinning rock, spinning around a giant fireball flying through space. When you look at the kind of microscopic impact that each human has, and then you look at some humans have outsized impact, like Elon Musk is creating all these different companies. He's having an outsized impact on the planet. And why are we not teaching everybody that they can have an outsized impact on the planet as well? So the whole idea of Unlimited Awesome is that anybody from anywhere in the world can participate in innovation, in entrepreneurship, and that's the whole thing. And so one of the reasons you go to like Harvard or Stanford or
Hmm.
the schools is for the connections, the people you meet there. And what if we could meet virtual worlds? We have an AI that does a matchmaking service. So it takes your social graph and says, "You're Nathan. You're interested in XR. You're interested in entrepreneurship, and you're interested in." It gives you 10 things, and then I'm interested in those, and it matchmakes us, and we can meet in a virtual world and have a conversation from anywhere in the world, and we have real time language translation as well. So now you're taking
Amazing.
people from everywhere around the world and allowing them to participate in innovation, because 10 years ago, even, most innovation and VC and venture capital was limited to the Valley. And one of the interesting things about that is if you look at Y Combinator, I've been a mentor at Techstars, but Y Combinator is the kind of the OG. In the last 20 years, Y Combinator has returned outsized returns for the investors, astronomically outsized. To put it in perspective, the stock market returned about 12% over the last 20 years, annualized over per year. Venture capital, which is this great group of people investing in new technologies, they return 26% overall as a category. And to put it in
Mhm.
perspective, Y Combinator returned 176% annualized returns over the last 20 years. Blew everything out of the water. So now
So
Unlimited Awesome will be the
what's
Y
there?
Combinator for the world's ideas.
And do you see Y Combinator's outsized success as part of the network, as part of the education, as part of their support of the business side of things?
I don't think you can isolate any one thing, Nathan. I think it is a combination of
Mhm,
the fact that they're picky with who comes in. So they have a filtering process, which with Unlimited Awesome, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to use AI to filter and
mhm.
people's ability to invest. So you have a filtering process that filters out 99.9% of the ones that may or fail. Then they have a support network. Then they have access to investors. So it's not any one thing, it's the combination of all of them. And being part of a
It's
network
really
where
supporting.
you can get a meeting with anybody really. This is empowering and impactful, and we're going to do the same thing. So with Unlimited Awesome, we just announced the first 75 mentors. People like Tom Furness, the grandfather of virtual reality, yourself as a mentor, Nolan Bushnell, founder of Atari, is on there. Shelley Peterson, who used to run spatial computing for Microsoft,
Amazing.
also Lockheed Martin before that. So we've surrounded
Mhm.
ourselves with some of the smartest people on the planet, not just smart, because there's a lot of smart people who are assholes, but smart people who are amazing humans and do believe in the power of humanity, not just the power of making money.
I really want to kind of roll back. You mentioned having these 200 projects, with enterprises and businesses of all scale to help you understand and navigate your model. Can I, I think this is rare, right? For a technology and innovation to have 200 examples out there. Many of us are maybe earlier in that journey. And sometimes listening to those signals or, really absorbing those learnings when you're on a mission trying to make something happen can be really hard. You're presented with a challenge or a piece of new information and you maybe have to pivot, you maybe have to grow. Can you talk about how maybe a moment or moments where your interactions with your customers have helped you better understand your mission and the path you're on, and how you've had to maybe adjust or respond in that?
One of the problems that a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in is that they fall in love with the technology and not the problem. And I think I did the same. I tried VR. I said, this is amazing. Oh my God. But back then it was 360 video. So we had to 3D print 360 camera rigs. We took a 3D printer, printed them out, and snapped GoPros in there. And then you had to stitch the footage one by one. It was nuts. It was very hard and actually brutally hard. But then 360 video kind of came and went. And then augmented reality came, and we did a bunch of augmented reality projects, and that came and went. And then VR came in, a full gamified VR, and we did a bunch of those things as well. So following the technology along is not the best bet. I would probably say in our case, it was different because our problem that we want to solve was creating a new education system. That was the problem we wanted to solve. So it didn't matter if it was 360 video, which we still deploy, or if it was AR, which we still deploy, or if it was just 3D on the web, which we still deploy. I didn't fall in love with the technology, although I do love the technology. I fell in love with the problem. And I think the too few startups they get caught up in their technology. They don't really step outside. And there's a book called the Startup Handbook, I think it's called, by Steve Blank. And the book, if you read nothing else in the book, if you open the cover, it says, "Get out of the office and talk to your customers." And so this is the best advice
Yes.
I could ever give to anybody is, look, you have a technology that you built, go see if somebody's one willing to buy it from you and use their money to fund yourself. People don't, they talk about VC capital all the time. They talk about investors, getting investors, getting investors. And yes, when you're starting new technology, sometimes you need that kickstart. But if you can't sell to somebody right from the beginning, if you can't get a customer, then what are you doing? I mean, what are you building it for? A lot of
Awesome.
companies that start and then they build all this technology and they build features and they build more features and they build more features and they build more features and they never sell it. And then ask their customers, do you like this features? Do you really want it? Do you need it? And are you willing to pay for it? Customers' willingness to pay should be your number one decision on whether to pursue your technology moving forward. Oh, that was chapter one in the
Just
book,
gonna,
by the way.
that
The
was
first
chapter
page
one in
was
the book.
get out and talk to your customers. The second was ask them if they're willing to pay.
A technology can take us on a journey, but is it actually solving a problem at the end of that journey? You may not know, but if you're always holding on to that guide rope of, we're solving the problem and taking a step forward, eventually, or as you said, it might just be about making all of the technologies easier to use in a place where you would want a set of tools as easy as Canva.
OpenAI, for example, they didn't start off with how do we solve a problem. The problem was we want to build AGI. That was their vision. We want to build AGI. They went out and solved that, and as they go, they introduced ChatGPT, and now they're introducing video models and image models and all these things. So they set out with a different vision. But Sam
Mhm.
Altman also was the CEO of Y Combinator. He had already seen thousands of startups that were successful and not, and he already had a future vision of what may be possible. That is an outlier. Most startups don't start
Mhm.
with a vision that big. Like our vision is we're going to build a new education system. This ridiculous vision, ridiculous. It's over the top, but step by step, day by day. I mean, we've been working at it for 8 years. We just, got all of the mentors lined up, or not all of them, but the first 75 mentors lined
Mhm.
up. We're getting the funding and financing sorted out right now. So we didn't. We said we're going to do education, but we didn't start it until now, 8 years later. It doesn't. It didn't matter because the technologies that we wanted to deploy, AI didn't even exist till 2 years ago, like in a
Yep.
consumer friendly point.
18 months. Yeah.
It existed in
Globally. Yeah.
and natural language processing and OCR and all these other things. But
Yes.
as far as a consumer based AI, it just didn't exist. So a lot of the things that we envisioned an AI personal coach. We envisioned a virtual world that everybody could go in, like a campus. And these things just weren't possible when we thought them up. So we just wrote them down and we worked on building towards that eventual goal. Even today, like we start seeing new technologies come up and we're just adding them to our tech stack. So we're using technology to address the big problem of education and learning. And we're going to open source all of our learnings to education systems around the world. So whatever we build, we will open source and make available to anybody who wants to use it around the world.
Amazing. That's so important, especially when you're thinking about the breadth of sophistication and, access to different technologies around the world, being able to sort of pick and choose Arduino your way into people's worlds, I think is going to be really important.
This was one of our key tenets for the whole idea behind Unlimited Awesome. On the planet, there's one race, the human race. What if color, race, sex, economic status, and more importantly, geography were no longer factors in getting a quality education and participating in global innovation and entrepreneurship? Right? But what if that wasn't a problem?
So one of the things that we talk about on the glow up, right, is what people are looking to glow up, right? And the glow up is a notable transformation in how something looks, appears, acts, right? It's a leveling up, if you will. So what's the glow up, or what is the next stage you're looking to grow into in the next 6 months or a year? And
Well, that's actually
how will
perfect.
you make it?
So all of the things we've been doing have been around building the technology stack behind this and learning and not just building the technology stack, but testing it. Right? We tested with MasterCard and Siemens and Microsoft and Wipro and all these big companies. We've been testing our theories. And then, you make adjustments. So we've been doing all that. So all those tests have been done. Now it's about building the tech stack specifically for Unlimited Awesome. So we built a general purpose creation platform called MetaVRse that can serve the needs of 3D creation around the world. So we've been building all of these things for years and years and years. And now it's how do we then use all these technologies, AI, XR, blockchain, all of these other technologies together to build a really robust educational framework. And it's going to be a gamified thing. So you'll go into the castle and you'll learn all these things. So it's gamified learning. So that's the next phase of this. Phase two for us is creating Metaverse as a standalone platform where anybody can create anything 3D and using all AI tools to conjure a world and deliver it to all devices. That's part of it. The second part is how do we build this game that encourages participation from all over the world. And so the next phase is onboarding as many users into the creation platform and as many students into Unlimited Awesome as possible. So starting in January next year, we're going to be hitting the ground running. We're also writing a book right now called The 2030, 5 decades of transformation in only 5 years. So in the last 50 years, we've invented more technologies than all of previous human history. So we will build more new technologies in the next 5 years than all of previous human history. So the time to build things is getting shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. So more and more technology. That's why I do a daily tech news show and not a weekly one, because things are coming out so fast. You wouldn't believe it.
I suppose if you're approaching the world from a learning, always growing, resiliency mindset, that's the more you can be in your center, be in your vision, be whole as a human. You may need those skills and that balance to be able to keep up and run this marathon.
We're teaching
Mm.
two things that I think are missing, the missing components: empathy and love. I saw you do this earlier. And empathy and
Hmm.
love are important things in an age of exponential growth of everything. So I think we used to have religion to teach empathy and love, and it's kind of got bastardized by money. And then schools have said, no, that's the job of your parents, and parents are busy, trying to make ends meet. And so Unlimited Awesome will try to instill empathy and love into the platform as well.
Yeah, for me, the idea that any one institution is going to meet all of my needs as a human, I've kind of given up on and have doubled down into I'm going to be human in every institution that I'm a part of so that I can make sure when we're talking people to people that those things are that empathy, respect, trust, love are all a part of it. And
I grew up with the whole, love, unity, respect, positivity. So it really does matter and it helps. And we need more of that in an age of AI where algorithms will do most of the meaningful work for us. Maybe what it means to be human is to just be together and help each other. And I think we need more us, not I.
one of the things that we do at the Glow Up is we feature a community spotlight or a basically a community sponsor every episode, highlighting a group, nonprofit, community organization, innovative project that needs or could use a little extra attention and spotlight. Is there any group or community or that you think that you'd like to suggest as a future community spotlight?
Well, I'm gonna have to point out my wife Julie, my business partner and wife Julie, is the founder at XR Women, and XR Women is a global collective of women in spatial computing. They're the one of the largest groups. They meet every single Wednesday in virtual spaces. They've done 175 meetings over the last 2 years or 3 years. If you want to join, you can just go to xrwomen.com. You can join them in a virtual space, and it's a really, really great. So they learn every week. They've got a guest speaker, and the speakers talk anything from blockchain to XR to these technologies, from art to science. It's all in between, and so I'm really grateful for that group of people because there's some beautiful humans on there as well. So that's the group I would recommend that if you're interested.
Amazing. I've developed many of my strong opinions about the best way to meet online through joining these XR Women events. Last question is just how can people follow up and learn more? Who are you looking to connect with and how can they
So
find you?
I have a number of different investments. So we have MetaVRse and Unlimited Awesome, but we also have an investment in a film about the EDM culture explosion, electronic dance music. So we filmed a documentary back in the day, and we'll be bringing that. It's called The Drop, and we also have a company called Emulator, which is
Wait
touch
for it.
DJ system. So the easiest thing to follow me is at alansmithson.com, just my first name, last name.com. And you can follow, there's my life's purpose. And there's Julie and I on Dragon's Den. We were featured on Dragon's Den a decade ago. And then
Amazing.
yeah, there's all of the things that we do, daily tech news, all the different companies, everything is there. And you can reach out to me. You can hire me to speak as well. I do public speaking. Yeah, so everything's there on alansmithson.com.
Alan, I love how you and Julie lead with values in a world where there is so much tech. where there is so much focus on like winning or being a unicorn or whatever the trillion-dollar version of a unicorn is about to be. It's heartening to see people with such big visions to make an impact who are leading from the human side before the technology side. Thank you. It's something that I long to see more of in the space, and I think it's a really great example for the folks that we're trying to reach here with the Glow Up. So
Well, thank you, Nathan,
really
for
appreciate
and
it.
for sharing our story and for being the wonderful human that you are. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Amazing. Many things to come. Thank you so much, Alan.
All right. Have a great day.